So I'm not going to lie to you. This isn't clickbait. Okay. You clicked on that thumbnail because you're like, wait, what? Is this guy crazy? But I'm going to prove it to you. So check this out. I was thinking about this today and I was like, well, wait a second. How come we never talk about this? Right? So rules of division, any number divided by itself. So if I have 5 divided by 5, right? We know it's 1. Right? 5 divided by 5 is 1. We can talk about proofs of that in a second. We know even if we did 1/4 divided by 1/4, it's equal to 1. Any number divided by itself is 1. Right? You could do 1,365 divided by 1,365, and it's not going to matter. That's not 1,365. Numbers are hard, apparently. We're taking math advice from a guy who can't write. I know, it's crazy. So, thinking of that, 5 divided by 5 is 1. 1/4 divided by 1/4 is 1. 1,365 divided by 1,365 is 1. It's always 1, right? And you can prove that. If I know 5 divided by 5 is 1, it's true. Because if I were to do the inverse of that, I could prove that 1 times 5 equals 5, right? You could prove that 1/4 times 1 equals 1/4, right? Or 1,365 times 1 equals 1,365, right? The reason any number divided by itself is 1 is because any number times 1 is that number, right? 1 is what they call the identity property of multiplication, because if you multiply something by 1, it becomes itself, okay? So with that in mind, I am saying that 0 divided by 0 is also 1. Now think about it. You're taking 0 and you're dividing it by itself. Any number divided by itself is 1, correct? And in fact, if you take the inverse of it and you do 1 times 0, you get 0. So what I am telling you is 0 divided by 0 is 1. And am I wrong? What are your thoughts down in the comments? Is this really the case? If so, what's the rule behind it? Because I'm saying you learned math wrong. 0 divided by 0 is 1. And I just proved it. Because the inverse of that, 1 times 0, we know is 0. Right? So why is that not 1? What are your thoughts? Comment below.